And we're live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Mobtown Live. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody.
With your hosts,
We know
Sarah
exactly.
Sullivan and Michael Seguin.
So,
Thank you, Abby. Is the intro done? All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Mobtown Live. My name is Sarah.
my name is Michael.
We have an awesome show for you today. As usual, we've got Hachi, Matt Reed, and Abby Becker in the back, and they are the ones making this actually happen. I can hear Meschiya's baby, I think.
That is
Just so all of you know.
Baby Lake.
So today we're back. We have some really awesome guests. We have Meschiya Lake, who is an absolutely incredible jazz musician.
The
and
legend.
Really incredible human, who's going to be playing live for us and talking to us and charming us as usual. We're going to make a cocktail today, and it's going to be a margarita. So what you should get right now, or sometime in the next half hour or so, is some tequila, some lime, some triple sec or Cointreau, and some ice. And salt, maybe. Alternatively, if you don't have all those things, you could use mezcal. You could use lemon, but it would be kind of gross. You could, I don't know, just find anything that seems margarita-ish and bring it into your living room.
It's probably not going to hurt you.
Yeah. The tequila is really the only part that's important. We also, later today, will have Dr. Nichols back, the very charming doctor that a lot of you gave positive feedback about.
Baltimore sex symbol, Dr.
Yeah.
Nichols.
And he'll be back answering some questions that we gathered from all of you.
You will note, if you're looking at the screen, which you are, probably, that we have a new Venmo up on the screen. The artists and individuals will all have their own put up, and we encourage you to donate to them, particularly to Meschiya Lake, our featured guest tonight. But we have one that is at Mobtown Live on Venmo, and that is going towards some equipment that we're going to try and buy as we go on this insane journey with you. And then when we're allowed to reopen, we're hoping to do some sort of more intense programming with speakers that's live and cast out on the internet. So we're pumped. And if
Totally.
you want to chip in for that, do it.
Super pumped. Michael, what did you do this week?
I didn't do
springing
fucking
this on you.
anything, Sarah.
That's not true.
Well, I mean, I've been doing ballroom paperwork, but other than that, I read my books, I mind my own business, and it's wonderful. I feel bad, as always, but I hope this apocalypse never ends. And I hope everyone else gets lots of money, and I hope that I hide in my bunker, and then the world goes back to normal, and they forget about me down there, and someone just sends like rotisserie chickens down, and I feast on them.
So starting off on an uplifting note,
Yeah.
I asked, I guess. So, but I'm with you.
Oh, and I believe that Hachi said that he was going to. Hachi's working on a terrible computer monitor back there that he declared he would break live next week if we made some money to buy equipment, so we could smash something.
If we can buy a new monitor, then we will let you watch Hachi smash his computer. What is it? Office Space? Is that what it was called?
It's Office Space, yeah.
Kind of like that movie.
When he's got sort of a Jesus look going, so it'll be very like turning over the tables in the temple situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Well,
Is it time?
first up is Meschiya Lake. Meschiya's ready, so I think that you should talk a little bit about how we know Meschiya and why she's so special to us.
Some of you watching were actually here for all of this, but when we first built this place and laid the floor and got cooking, about a month out, we realized that we needed a band for the opening night, and we made some calls to the usual suspects, the Boilermakers, people that played first things before, and no one was available. And then we remembered that there was this strange woman covered in tattoos who I'd heard sing one time at Glen Echo, and she blew my mind. And we just sort of sent a email into the ether and ended up flying Meschiya and her band to the Ballroom for the opening night. The first band that ever played here was Meschiya Lake and Little Bighorns. And then I think for the next 3 years, we brought them back. She really made an impression. I'm not sure what way to say that other than that she raised all kinds of hell. Some of the best music we've ever had in here. She threw a a bottle of that liquor into the crowd at one point.
They caught it. It was amazing.
Yeah, she's a treasure.
Yeah.
We love her.
Total treasure. So I think that we should bring Meschiya out here. Meschiya, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Hey, Meschiya.
Yay!
As ready as I'll ever be. I'm not sure. I don't have any Jameson, though.
Oh.
Do you want to...
It's different. I'm a mom now. See what I've moved on to?
White Claw. Yeah.
That is the classic drink of moms, yeah.
Moms and frat bros.
Big difference between the two, though. Let me tell you.
Oh, Meschiya, I wanted to tell you this. I was in the office bathroom here, and we have a poster of the first time you played here, and you signed it, and on it you wrote, "Thanks for letting us pop that cherry." That was your comment.
Well, it was the first concert.
Yeah, that for those watching, that'll just give you a sense of...
I was really grateful, you know. It was a very, very, very fun time for us, and it seemed like it was fun for y'all, too, and, you know, paved the way for all of the other times.
You made our first time special. Yeah, it was very
think
nice.
The time you played for Halloween and you all did the mashup of Monster Mash and
Werewolf Bar Mitzvah.
and Werewolf Bar Mitzvah with the Hava Nagila in between.
Yeah, wasn't that your idea, Michael?
I think that was Jerzak's idea, but I wanted to kiss him. I was so excited.
I thought the werewolf thing was your idea. Was that the same year that we did I Love You, Baltimore?
No, that was the year before.
Okay, that was really challenging. I remember like fucking cramming that until like the day of for a while, still being like, oh my God, I'm gonna mess this up. It's a musical number. It's not like your standard A jazz tune, you know. It was challenging. It was great.
But we've had some good
appreciate you
times.
so much.
And also John Waters. Huh?
We appreciate you, and it was really good times. I'm excited to hear you play solo because I don't know that I ever really have, except for maybe the occasional video. So.
Yeah, it's sad. I would talk about my feelings.
Oh, perfect. I love feelings.
Yeah, an acoustic guitar.
I have a lot
Or
of them.
band. And I do some songs that, you know, some songs that aren't mine. I talk about other people's feelings.
Sweet. Well, we might
Mostly
ask
in
you about some of that at some point, but first, you want to play a song?
Sure. Oh, this is so weird.
Take it away.
It's weird to have no live audience. Very weird. Remember the original sound situation.
This is like my fourth time doing a Zoom thing. And it's kind of cool because I get to do it from the comfort of this beautiful place that we're living at right now called Wonderland. It's got a name and
A disco ball.
Yeah. I would like to play a song. It's not mine. It's either a traditional Irish tune or was written by Lisa O'Neill, but I think that it's traditional. It's called Rock the Machine.
Did you manage the original sound?
Yes. Thank you for reminding me. It's a brave new world. Here we go. I'm losing will. My hands are soft as cotton gloves. Machine has eaten up my job, my meaning and my cause. Machine with the strength of 100 men can't feed and clothe my children, can't read the sailor coming in, or know of desperation. I shovel coal down Spencer's dock. I took your deer into wedlock, and you did bear us a beautiful flock. River rocked the machine down on the dock. The gold will grow and I will rise with gold enough to win back time. With gold enough to win that pride. We'll rock the machine until it dies. Today here I'm unemployed. Before I spoke, you read my eyes. I feared of nothing or no one, but I feel old and I'm so young. I miss the craft, I miss the boys. I long for purpose in the void. Time isn't worth ticking tighter. I wish my load was a mountain lighter. I shovel coal down Spencer's dock. I took your deer into wedlock, and you did bear us a beautiful flock. River rock the machine down on the docks. River rock the machine until it stops. And lonely fish show me gold. And like a heron I will go. Oh, really be when you're high. And like a current I will dive. The gold will glow and I will rise with gold enough to win back time. With gold enough to win back pride. We'll rock the machine until it dies. We'll rock the machine down on the dock. We'll rock the machine until it stops. So I don't know. I feel I relate to that one right now. This one is what I think is clearly about the Industrial Revolution and about the machines taking people's jobs. And well, we're all in isolation, and this virus and economic shutdown has taken many of our jobs as well. So there we go.
Thank you, Meschiya.
Yeah. Do you want me to play more?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
This is pretty awesome. And I don't think you're watching YouTube right now, but there's a lot of comments that you should go back and read later.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of people who remember you from playing here.
Oh, you know how I sent you some YouTubes? Mm-hmm. I found great comments in some of those YouTubes. Yeah.
Nice.
About my revolting tattoos and over singing, and that women shouldn't get tattoos. I was like, ah!
You showed them.
Those comments were so good. Everybody was like, oh, hell no, she does what she wants. And I was like, thank you. Great. Okay. This one, oh, you know what? Out of all the songs I picked, I only picked one I wrote. And here it is.
Yay.
Russell Welch told me that it's really stupid to not change a song if you're writing it about somebody because of this song. This is about a good friend of mine that I dated once, which is a common story in my life. It's called Luna Leo. Oh, there it is. Are we live? till it's all through. Luna, only your time. It's bitter and sweet, all the same. So calling the moon by her name. Take these heartstrings on your wings. Take my hopeful eyes to his heart. Oh, Luna, hold me tight. Oh, Luna, only your
Yay! You wrote that, Meschiya?
I wrote that.
That was lovely.
So beautiful.
Thanks. I've written lots of songs that I haven't really done much with. I was gonna do a solo album. I had this a good friend of mine lined up to produce it, and we were gonna do my first ever, what's that crowdfunding thing called, Kickstarter, and then I got pregnant. And there have been important things to do since then, but it's still gonna happen, because there's like 2 or 3 albums worth in there that I'd like to do something with at some point, if not just for my own personal archives, you know.
I think that people want to hear you play more, but I want to ask you a couple questions real quick.
Go for it. No.
But we can do it quick. The only thing is, can you put the original sound back to the way that was and then switch it back? Just because I want to make sure people can hear you.
I have disabled it.
Awesome, thanks. Can you tell us a little bit about like when you got into music and how you got into music, and then also maybe when songwriting started factoring into that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been into music my whole life. My mom, in particular, played a lot of Emmylou Harris. I think that had a big effect on me. And she also really liked Willie Nelson and the Highwaymen. I don't know if y'all remember that, but it was Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash, and Chris Christopherson had a super group. Holy shit, it was awesome. It was very 80s though, so they have lots of like Sailor synthesizers and stuff in there, which I think is rad. I love that. So it's like classic country, and then like woo, and you're like, okay, yeah, really get down with that. My mom and my aunt had a duo they called the Lake Sisters, and they play at the South Dakota State Fair. And so I just kind of started singing with them, doing songs with them at the state fair. And my mom used to take me to the South Dakota Opry with her when she'd go out dancing. They had a singing contest. It was all grown-ups, and I was a regular there at that point. So they're like, oh, cute. Oh, I wanted to join the singing contest. And they were like, oh, cute, little Missy wants to join the singing contest, and waived the entry fee. So it was like, she's a 9-year-old kid. Like, funny, that's cute. And then I won. And $1 in a gig. So that's how I got my start singing professionally. I did that until I was 13, and different thoughts of consciousness started to play factor into my brain, and I thought that cowboy music and country music was archaic and racist, and I liked the Dead Kennedys and Skater Boys and Dadaism and Bauhaus, both the band and the movement, you know. So I kind of I quit country music for a minute, was a singer in some punk rock bands for a while. I've kind of come full circle and really, really love classical country, like a lot, you know. But that was my teenage rebellion, and I can understand where that came from, but also it wasn't a fully formed idea with life experience behind it, you know.
Totally.
I was the weird kid in Dakota, so that was my own experience. I was like, you guys are assholes to me. Can I say that?
Yes, you can say that.
Fuck yeah, you can say that.
Assholes.
People were very mean to me because I was different than the other kids. So, and country music kind of symbolized that whole culture to me, being from, you know, the largest town in South Dakota, but not large by anybody else's standards.
That makes sense. And when did you start writing your own music?
Oh yeah, second part of the question. I'm probably with this band I had, well, probably when I was about 20. I'd written poetry, like lots and lots and lots of poetry since I was 12. I wrote my first poem when I was 12. But didn't really put it to music until this band I had in Milwaukee when I was about 20. The band was called Riding a Pink Horse Down Nightmare Alley because of this really funny Neil Diamond anti-drug PSA. Okay, so the drug PSA, anti-drug PSA, was Neil Diamond's, like, had this little jingle that was like, pot, let's smoke some pot. To do it a lot, you do it a lot. High, I want to get high. Something like that. And it had, like, interviews of the people that were, like, destitute and homeless because of drug addiction, right? And it was supposed to all come from the gateway drug pot. I'm pretty sure Neil Diamond smoked weed, by the way. So he was probably laughing his ass off while he was singing this jingle. But one of the last ones was this totally strung out junkie dude who was just like, yeah, man, it's like riding a pink horse down Nightmare Alley. And we were like, band name!
That's awesome. Sweet. All right. Well, I won't take away from. Oh wait, you go for it.
Before we go to the next song, can you just quickly tell the people where they can get your music, where you would recommend they access your stuff if they want to buy some, which they do?
Oh, cool. Well, I guess it's all via interwebs now, and you should be able to access all of my recordings with Little Bighorns at least through MeschiyaLake.com. There's like a CD Baby link there. That's just the Little Bighorns and my CD with Tom McDermott, not any of the studio sessions I've done for other people. Oh, hey, there's one. Oh, you can get this one on Amazon that I just put out with this Dutch guy and won a Danish Grammy.
Oh yeah, I happened to put something out on Amazon and won a Grammy, and yeah, no big deal.
Check it out. It's a weapon. I was going through the Copenhagen airport with this thing in my luggage, and they were like, what is that, man? You can't bring that on board. I was like, it's a Danish Grammy, y'all. And they totally let me through. But I put it through my checked luggage coming to New York, because this thing is like 5 pounds. Look at this. And like a blood-thinning tool. I was like, damn. Because Denmark seems like a pretty peaceful country, but like I guess their like Viking comes out sometimes.
I have so many jokes to make about that.
We've got really good social systems, and everybody's really happy.
I'm glad that you always have that within reach.
Yeah. Well, since I'm at home, I keep it away from where the kid can get it, because, man, whew, I don't want to happen.
That's awesome.
I'm speechless about that whole situation. Can we squeeze another song or two out of you?
Oh, that was the last gig I did. One of the last gigs I did.
What?
I got flown to Copenhagen to do a one-off with the like Danish National Symphony or something in this like big concert hall. But then the morning that we were supposed to do it, and I got to do a Nick Cave song and the one I wrote, which is You got gummies? Awesome. Let me see. Let me give you one. Come here. Say hi to the folks, Serge. You want to come say hi? Anyway, that morning at the concert, the Danish president came out. Here, don't cry. Look, here's a gummy. Here's 2 gummies. Oh, happy. You want to come say hi, Serge? Hi.
Yay!
Hi, Saoirse.
Hi.
Baltimore says hello to you.
He's got gummies.
Gummies.
He's very proud of them. I'm proud.
Oh my God.
So they canceled the live audience. It was a sold-out theater, which was rad. Except they canceled the live audience, and then it was like all this hoopla and going through 5 different international airports right before this pandemic to like just recording it. So it was like this big symphony and this epic Nick Cave song, and then it was like cricket, credits. Like, why is everybody freaking out? And well, now I know, because that was totally justified. Okay, man.
Awesome. Thank you, Meschiya. All right. I'd say turn original sound back off or on or whatever the opposite is. Play some songs. We won't interrupt you. Play as many as you feel like it, and then we'll be done.
Oh, but wait, what time is it? I don't want to. Oh my gosh, is it overtime? I have like 3 minutes. Hi, Drew.
No, you can keep going. It's only we have
Oh, we padded. We
like
padded out.
9 minutes or something, but we padded it out in case you want to go over.
Well, okay. That's kind of up to y'all. Okay, maybe I only picked out one of my own songs. I kind of want to play a John Prine song.
Hell yeah.
Okay, here's a John Prine song. This one's called Flag Decal. And by the way, all y'all, it's still true. Okay?
It's a great song.
While they're just in Reader's Digest in the back of a dirty bookstore, plastic flag with the gum on the back fell out on the floor. Well, I picked it up, ran outside, and I slapped it on my window shield. If I could see old Betsy Ross, I'd tell her how good I feel. But your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. They're already overcrowded on your dirty little whore. Now Jesus don't like killing no matter what the reason's for. And your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. Well, I went to the bank this morning, and the cashier said to me, if you join the Christmas club, we'll give you one of them flags for free. Didn't mess around, I one bit, and I took upon what he said. Stuck all them stickers all over my car and one on my wife's forehead. But your flag decal won't get you in heaven anymore. They're already overcrowded on your dirty little whore. Now Jesus don't like killing no matter what the reason's for. And your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. Well, I got my windshield so filled with flags that I couldn't see. So I ran my car upside a curb and right into a tree. By the time they got Dr. down, well, I was already dead. And I'll never understand why the man standing at the pearly gates said, well, your flag decal won't get you in heaven anymore. They're already overcrowded. Little war. Now Jesus don't like killing no matter what the reason's for. And your flag decal won't get you in heaven. Thanks, y'all.
Someone just said the dog barking gave them Fiona Apple vibes.
I
Was
don't
it
think she can
Kira?
hear you, but
What?
oh.
Oh, cool. I'll take it. I don't know what that means, but I like her, so awesome.
She just released a new album, and she recorded it all by herself at home, as far as I can tell. And her dog is barking in the background through chunks of it. It's awesome.
Oh, I love that. Cool. Good dog. Good dog. Okay. Yep. Sorry. Moving right along. There's that folder. Okay. I'll probably close out with one of my own, or this song might be the end too. We'll see. It's an 80s tune that you'll probably recognize, but I think it's from the point of view of a child who's not listened to. And I think that people often don't listen to children. I mean, yes, you have to be like the grown up and give discipline and direction and things, but they're kind of seem like if their voices are invisible, it can lead to maybe some self-esteem complications later in life and some different issues. And I think that you should listen to kids. So here we go. Around me are familiar faces, worn out faces, worn out faces. Bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. And their tears are filling up their glasses. No expression, no expression. I'm ahead, I wanna drown in sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow. And I find it kind of funny, and I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. Find it hard to tell you, find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very fair world. It's a fair world. Children waiting for the day to feel good. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Made to feel the way that every child should. Sit and listen, sit and listen. Went to school and I was very nervous. No one knew me, no one knew me. Hello teacher, tell me what's my lesson. Look right through me, look right through me. And I find it kind of funny, and I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. Find it hard to tell you, find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very fair world. It's a fair world. It's a fair world. It's a fair world.
Woo!
Yay! That was awesome. I feel like we're getting to see a whole other side of you, Meschiya.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah. You want some jazz hands? Are you feeling uncomfortable?
No. This is more mine and Michael's speed, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I'll close out, if that's okay with y'all, with the first song I ever wrote on guitar.
Hold on one second. We want to hear it, but can you put the original sound back for singing? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, well, as I told you before, I started writing songs. It was before I started playing instruments, and one of the reasons I taught myself guitar is because, Riding a Pink Horse Down Nightmare Alley broke up. Or so did my Graveyard Jaw, and all the songs that I had written with them were gone. I had the lyrics and the melody in my head, but I couldn't play them by myself. So I started practicing guitar and then later banjo, and now I'm working on piano so that my songs could be mine and I could keep playing them. So this is the first one that I ever wrote on guitar. I was dating a guy from the Loose Marbles. Remember that, anybody? Don't date the band leader. It always goes horribly. Unless you're me, because I'm very diplomatic. This one's called... Oh, with the fire in your eyes, captured by you, but is it what they say? Patience be virtue. Can spirals of time, compounded by truth, keep this feeling the same, that I've been captured by you, with the fire in your eyes, captured by you. in rapture sometimes. The tides of the moon come cycle sway. Your eyes to me soon make the sadness a memories, an elegant cry. A room with a view, an ocean of smiles, a cadence of breath, your companion for a while. Come sweetly say that my light has captured you too. Hey, halo that shines by your markers of proof. This mirror grows with the memories of youth. All wrongs that climb to this present that pines for you. Okay, thank you. Sorry if I went over time. It's been really fun hanging out with y'all. It's nice to see your faces.
Oh, no.
Are you kidding me? Don't worry about it. That was awesome.
Yeah, you're wonderful, Meschiya. We intend to have you back here when this place reopens at some time. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Meschiya. I'm so proud of you. You're doing it. You're so great.
Thanks. I'm so proud of y'all too. Look at this empire you built. It's wonderful.
Thanks, Meschiya.
That's it,
Yeah,
folks.
bye.
Hit her up at Meschiya-Lake on Venmo.
Yes.
Do it.
Yeah, send that woman money.
Send her money. Send us money. Yeah, we'll take it too.
Send us money too if you want.
And for those of you who have tuned in since, that's what we're doing. We have a Venmo that we're sticking up there that it's at Mobtown Live. And that money will go towards buying equipment so that we can do more exciting stuff along these lines. Also, Hachi would like you to know that you should like this YouTube thing and or subscribe to it or whatever you do with YouTube things.
The YouTube page, it's called the page. You can click like on it. I'm explaining this to Michael. You all know how to do that. You can also subscribe to it if you're logged in. And you should do that because we're doing this every week.
Afterwards, I'll have you show me how to subscribe to it.
It's
on my
cool.
computer.
You just say like and subscribe, and then everybody knows what that means, I guess.
There you go.
I don't know that I've ever done that, but actually, I subscribed to our YouTube channel today. That's not a joke. I personally started following Mobtown Ballroom on YouTube today.
Jesus. All right, so next up, I believe we have the top comments from last week, some of which will be entirely uninterpretable, but we're going to give it our best shot. Hachi, do it. Bill Henry should start wearing a sweet duster. That's a deep, Always Sunny in Philadelphia cut. Thank you, Boris Boyko.
Yeah, should we give some reference for that? Now might be a good time for me to say that Bill Henry is a councilman here in Baltimore. Councilman Bill Henry, sorry, that's how I should refer to him. And he's running for comptroller, which you will hear a lot more about in just a couple minutes. But last
Sexy
week,
position.
we pumped him a little, and Boris's advice was a stylistic one, to wear a sweet duster.
What else we got? Oh, sweet duster.
Again, Boris said Bill Henry should wear a sweet duster.
Our timing on this is priceless. Yeah, it's a skeleton crew, folks. What do you want? What do you want?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, Charles. Yeah, someday we'll show your trickeration video.
Oh, well, last week, Charlie, we did show your trickeration video, and I sang along because the sound wasn't working, and everyone in the room enjoyed it, and then we realized it wasn't working.
What's for dinner tomorrow night? That's Sarah's brother, who
I
was...
believe he said that to my mom.
Yeah, we had Sarah's mom on last week. That's a good comment. Yeah. Antonio Vergara holds butt. Typical.
That was out of context. He just does that.
I'd expect nothing less. And was there any more? Oh, Crow Lady. Oh, Crow Lady is in serious effect. I've seen some messed up pictures. Sarah's out there with like this crow kazoo that she's blasting at the neighbors, and apparently crows show up. I haven't seen any pictures of crows though.
Well, because I can't bring out my phone. You know, they don't want to be watched. They're private creatures.
No pictures, yeah. No pictures.
No pictures yet. But yeah, the crow adventure is going medium well. It's a little slow, and I would say that the other little birds are eating the food instead of the crows, and the crows are looking at me like, what is this crazy human doing? But
in this time of national tragedy, some birds are getting fed. Maybe not the birds you meant to feed.
Yeah, and I'm really getting to know the cardinal couple that lives next door to me, and the, what are they called?
Are they a couple, or is it like a swinging
doves,
bachelor cardinal?
Mourning doves. No, Charlie did suggest that the mourning doves and cardinals have a switching around thing going, but that's not true. He was making a joke. Yeah, there's a lot of lovely birds in our yard, and I'm wooing all of them. I'm sure you all wanted to know that.
That was our segment, last week's top comments.
Last week's top comments. So, this coming week, meaning next week, we are having a number of really awesome things on the show. Some of it is to be determined, but we are going to have Sam Grossman come on and do another puppet show. And you all might remember Sam from the Mobtown Telethon. His puppet show was awesome. He's a working artist who does a lot of different puppet stuff with young people. And so he's made a puppet show just for us for next week, which I'm incredibly excited about. Also, we're having a very special guest come on live, and that is Bill Henry.
Bill Henry!
Bill Henry. So he's a Baltimore City councilman who's running for comptroller. I'm going to try to be, what's the word? Nice, I guess, diplomatic, in that there's someone else who's been our comptroller for a while. But Bill Henry is now running for comptroller, and...
Oh, we should check it with him to see if we're allowed to announce him like you do presidential candidates, like the next comptroller of Baltimore City, Bill Henry.
Yeah. Yes, we should ask that. Personally, I have decided to make it my mission that I have not enacted yet, of making comptroller sexy, you know, like try and have it be the thing that you want to vote for and you watch, because usually you're like, oh, that's just an accountant. But in Baltimore City, that shit is important, because if there's someone not watching our money, or worse, someone watching our money in the wrong way, then we're all screwed. So Bill Henry is very awesome, and so we're going to do a challenge between this week and next for all of you, and it's called Meme Bill Henry. There is the one that I made. So I found this picture on his Facebook page, hopefully with permission, kind of, and put hashtag Meme Bill Henry on it. So this is what I want you to do. Make a meme. Do not post it on the internet, because this poor man should not be subjected to all of us. Send it to me at Sarah, S-A-R-A-H, at mobtownballroom.com. I will put it in the YouTube comments. And we'll pick the top Bill Henry memes to give to him, along with my ad campaign proposals next week.
Maybe a sweet duster.
Maybe a sweet duster. Maybe you should edit in a sweet duster, Boris. Anyway, meme Bill Henry, please send them to me, Sarah at mobtownballroom.com. We will pick the top ones. Maybe we'll show all of them. They should all be positive. The point is that we want him to succeed. Don't do anything messed up.
Yeah, the official candidate for comptroller of Mobtown Live
is Bill Henry. Yeah. And he's awesome and so cool. And if anyone could make a video of him walking away from an explosion with sunglasses on, I would really appreciate that. Just because comptroller needs to be spruced up a little, you know? Oh, good. We're doing great on time.
We got to mention the one other thing that we can only just tease for next week, which is we have a video, a song video that is so good, I can hardly stand it. Like we're having difficulty not playing it right now. It's playing next week, and it will haunt your mind for months.
And we might have the artist on themselves here to play live. We'll see. We're waiting to hear.
There's a lot to look forward to in this apocalypse.
So, we're gonna make a drink now.
So Sarah decided that in honor of Cinco de Mayo, we would make a margarita, right? And I looked up the history of the margarita on the internet because that's where we all spend our time now. And it's bullshit, like most drinks histories. It's like a legend. It's about the myth and not about reality. But there's supposed to be a restaurant owner in LA that invented the drink for a chorus line type person that worked at the restaurant, high kicking and whatnot. And he made it because she was allegedly allergic to all other forms of hard liquor, and so he except for tequila. And so he made a tequila shot with the salt and lime into a whole drink. That's the legend that you should tell your friends.
Thank you. I was distracted because Kaylin, one of our lovely friends who's watching, said, "What is a song video?" Which I guess is how you introduced Landis's music video. But I would say when you see it, it is more of a song video.
I'm right. Next week you'll realize it's a song video.
All right, so we're going to make a margarita today in a couple different ways. And I would say the first way is somewhat traditional, though all of my mixologist friends / douches out there are going to be mad at me for some reason, I'm sure, because there's a lot of lovely ways to do this. But I'm going to make two of them. I'm going to make one of the classic ways, and I'm going to make the other Sarah style. No, not even 100% alcohol. That would be Sarah style usually, but I was more thinking some like keto and also with whatever I want in it. So we got some ice here. So if you've got ice at home, you should put the ice into your mixers. Boom. Usually, or I guess if I were you, I would wait to put the ice in and pour the liquor first and then put the ice in, but I can't because I'm working from this table. This is what we're going to do. Classically, a margarita is 1.5 ounces of tequila, a 1/2 ounce of lime, and a 1/2 ounce of Cointreau or triple sec or something like that, and then you garnish it with a lime and salt. I am going to, right now, do that on one side, but first I'm going to put a little bit of salt on the rim here. So, if you've got salt, dump it in. I personally like the big salt, the kind that will really stick to the rim. If you take a lemon or lime, and you put the goo all around it, boom, see the goo? This is Sarah style.
You got to get the goo on the rim.
You got to get the goo on the rim.
Yeah.
And then, now, I think in fancy circles, they would have you get just half the rim with like some fancy salt or something. I'm not fancy, so I put it all the way around. Then, we're going to do this. You're going to take your tequila, 1.5 ounces. Usually it says it on the inside there, 1.5. There's a line. Alternatively, you can just hold it over and count to, I don't know, a 1, 2, 3. I would say that. Then we're going to put a 1/2 ounce, so a little one, half, of what I'm using is Cointreau. You can use Cointreau, triple sec. Basically, it's like a sugary orange liqueur situation. And then a 1/2 ounce of lime juice. And I squeezed this lime juice myself earlier. You can just squeeze a little lime into yours, or you can buy lime juice, but that kind of sucks. So
Fresh squeezed juice.
Fresh squeezed juice. Yeah, Michael, feel free to jump in on any of this.
That was my contribution.
That
Proceed.
Great contribution. All right. So on that one, that's what we put the ingredients in. I'm going to make mine now, which is going to have a little dab of tequila, more mezcal, because I prefer that. Boom. Just dump a little in there. I also am a huge fan of this thing called Ancho Reyes, which is a chili liqueur. And it's not super, super spicy. So this is the only product placement that we're going to do. But it's delicious. It gives it a little bit of a kick. You put just a splash in there. I'd say like half an ounce. And then I'll put the lime juice in there. You can tell that the Sarah style is a little more freestyled. Good. So with both of these, if you have mixers at home, then you give it the old mixy-mixy. If you don't have mixers at home, you can just toss it back and forth between two glasses.
Or use a like a mason jar with the lid on. Shake it up.
Oh, look at how far you've come with your mason jars.
I embrace them now.
Michael really loves mason jars, everybody. That's actually what he wants for Christmas. So usually, when straining this over ice, so you don't want to use the same ice unless you're in a hurry, which I do all the time. But you're going to put ice in your glass. You're going to get a little strainer. Most people have strainers. Are you zooming in straight on my chubs? Okay. And then if I don't have a strainer, this is what I do. You angle it so that the ice can't get out, but the ingredients can. And boom, you dump it right over there.
Bob's your uncle.
And boom. Sarah style. Then you're going to take this lime. If you're trying to make a lot of drinks, this is what you're going to do. You're going to take the long end. You're going to cut straight down the middle. So not where the tops are. What is it called? I don't know.
The nubbin.
Not where the nubbins are. You're going to cut in between both nubbins so that it ends up like that.
It's a fruit nipple.
That's wrong. I just did it wrong. You're not going to do that. You're going to cut it nubbin to nubbin. Nubbin to nubbin. Boom. And then you're going to cut this way, not all the way through, but just so that there's a little mouth and it can talk. And then you cut
Always cut towards yourself, kids.
like this so that you can put it, boom, on the edge with a little line. And I think that was probably the best cocktail making workshop that any of you have ever had. Michael, or who would like this margarita?
Give that shit to Hachi. He needed a margarita.
You want a margarita? Okay, cool.
I'm drinking scotch.
Oh. All right, and I'm going to
There's the hand of Hachi,
taste
folks.
my margarita. Thanks for being zoomed in on me, everybody. You're welcome for all of this. Yeah.
I would say, Sarah, what do you think? Should the people, is it worth them investing in a couple of cocktail shaking tins and a mixing glass?
I mean, you're the one saying. Of course, yes. Yeah, right? Michael, where'd you get this?
The Ballroom bought that shit, I think from Cocktail Kingdom. I think that's where they sell those fancy
Cocktail
glasses.
Kingdom?
Yeah. Oh, and the thing we're supposed to mention is that the great thing you can remember for amateur cocktail making is if it's got fruit juice in it, you shake that business. If it doesn't have fruit juice in it, you stir it. You stir it and strain it. And there's different strainers.
Yeah, but I think a shake versus stirred situation, like James Bond really fucked up my generation.
Yeah,
you
he
know?
was an idiot. Misogynist.
Yeah, that wasn't where I was going. I was talking about how he likes vodka martinis shaken
Watered down.
like a goddamn heathen.
Yeah.
So, no, basically, like Michael said, juice things you shake, and then it gets all frothy and delicious. Non-juice things you stir. If it's
Silky.
juice with soda on top, you shake, and then you put the soda on top, because you don't want to shake soda. Yeah?
I agree. Very well done. That was a good cocktail tutorial. It's a margarita. What kind of circumstances would you drink a margarita under? Celebratory summer circumstances?
I would drink a margarita maybe like at the beach or like out in the sun in the late afternoon, early evening, or like in the morning or in the night. I'm just kidding.
To celebrate sunup.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I think margaritas are a great, it's like brunch in the afternoon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to stitch that on a pillow.
People are saying anytime. I agree, because it keeps you awake. What happens to you when you drink tequila?
I get fucking wacky. Yeah, it's like a insult to everyone's religion and then apologize the next day scenario for me. I steer clear of that juice.
It's 8. It's time.
We're doing exactly on time.
Let me just make sure that I'm not missing any of our points that we're supposed to hit. I don't think so. remember to like and subscribe to our channel. And remember to give people money and be nice to each other. Next up, we have Dr. Nichols. Is Dr. Nichols here, Abby? Oh, there you are.
Hey!
Hi, yay. Hold on, I can't hear you. Can anyone hear him, or
Are you muted, Dr. Nichols?
I am now unmuted by host.
Boom!
Yay, okay, thanks. Our bad. How are you?
I'm well, Sarah. Thanks. Hi, Michael. How are you?
I'm good.
Thanks so much for coming back on.
Yeah, it's good to be back. How can I help?
Wait, he wanted to know what? Who Michael is. You want to know who Michael is? Is that what you said to Abby?
Who are you, Dr. Nichols? How dare you? How dare he?
Well, actually, what's funny is like people have one of the first questions I wanted to ask, I hope people were wondering, but I wanted to answer it even if you weren't asking, which is, how do we know you're a real doctor? So I wanted to show everybody. Look, I do actually have. I've got the white coat, right? It even has my name on it. See, you can see.
That's pretty
Oh,
awesome.
he's trading in that sex appeal again.
Yeah, definitely. And I've got this thing. If anyone remembers these, I actually haven't used it in 2 years because I'm a telemedicine doctor, but I still keep it just in case. And then
it's like a prop. Do you
let
wear
me show
it?
you the most expensive thing in my house, right? You ready? Right? It's this. It's my medical degree, right? Yeah. And I have an extra one. This is bonus. This is my degree in epidemiology because I have that too.
Holy shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a lot of degrees.
I think I'm legit. Where are your credentials, Michael? Right?
I don't need a credential to be an
asshole. He actually has a
asshole.
master's in the classics.
Yeah, I got a
This
diploma
bitch
somewhere.
can read and write Greek and Latin.
What do you mean, Matt? Is that like Chicago and Earth, Wind, and Fire? Like, what do you mean, masters in the classics?
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, no, it means I can read your diploma.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, cursive and everything.
That's awesome.
Cursive.
Well,
I got a master's degree in cursive.
I just want to remind our audience of our code of conduct, because I've been getting a lot of comments about bringing Dr. Hottie back, and I think that probably you all need to cool it.
My wife loves that, by the way. Actually, she digs it. So we're
Oh,
gonna bring it
good,
on.
cool. All right, good. All right, well, how do you want to do this? We sent you the questions that our audience asked in advance. Do you want me to throw them at you and you can answer them, or do you want to just go through them, or what?
Yeah, you weren't supposed to tell them that because then it looks
Shit.
like I'm really smart, like spontaneously.
Sorry.
But whatever, you can feed them to me.
What I mean is you're so smart and you had them all on the cuff. You did last time. Okay.
Yeah, no, that was scary. That was really, because it's like, oh, holy shit, I'm now like a public health professional and people are like I'm like Tony Fauci, except Brad Pitt isn't gonna play me on SNL.
I was thinking about who should play you, and we actually have some people in Baltimore who look a lot
Young
like
Billy
you.
Crystal. Done.
Oh, great, perfect.
Yeah, but I actually have a question that we didn't send you before, and I'm wondering what, how you've been doing, I guess, with your family, but also then telemedicine is your thing on a normal day. How is it, I guess I will say I've taken some refuge in the fact that I'm an introvert and the rest of the world has to be introverted right now too, and there's some solace in that. Is the world weird for you now that everybody's doing everything, or is it better for you, or neither?
Yeah, I think neutral. Good. It's a great question. I've been thinking about this because the rest of the world kind of caught up with me. Look at me, I'm so innovative, right? I've been doing this for 2 years, basically working from home. I'd have to invent excuses to leave my house because of all of the jobs that I have, several jobs, and they're all working from home jobs. And I used to be the only guy on the teams, the only person on the teams that I worked with who was that weird dude who would call in to meetings and was the remote guy. And suddenly everyone else has had to deal with that. And they've had to deal with the kids running behind them, like that guy on BBC News a few years ago.
I love that guy's kids.
And, and I used to be the only one, but now I'm just ordinary. So I have to go off and blow up my life and find some new way to be innovative, I guess.
I mean, you're on Mobtown Live. What's more innovative than that,
That's a great point. Yeah, no, I was there at the beginning, Sarah. You and me, we were talking about this before.
It's true. You're the one who told me to close the ballroom. You were like, Sarah, it would be real. You didn't say that. You just gave me all the information that I needed.
And that's what I think a good doctor should do. Is I only tell you what to do. That's dumb. You're not gonna listen to me. But I can help you to think about the problems that you're having. And most of the interesting problems, like if it was simple, straightforward, you would have read about it on Google. You wouldn't even come see me, right?
Right.
But we need to. I can give you information. You're gonna make the decision that makes the most sense for you. The only thing really that we know for sure about COVID basically is that cleaning products are not a treatment for it. So please do not drink cleaning products. And I'm sorry that I had to say that, but I do have to say that. And
Drink margaritas. That's what I'm hearing from this approved doctor. Drink margaritas.
I mean, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to just go through some of these questions in, I don't know. I guess first one. Roommates. How does this work? So I personally live with 5 other people. And we're not college students, but we have lived together for a very long time and plan to stay living together. And this is the only time I think that I've thought, wow, this is riskier, potentially. So my question is, say I go to work and I'm near Michael. Is that the same thing as my roommates being near Michael? Like, is the risk to them the same? Could all of them come and be around Michael as well, and the risk would be the same? Or is it by person? Does that make any sense?
It does. And so the reason that being close to one another matters for the same reason that, you want to use condoms when you have sex. Because you don't want to spread diseases back and forth to one another. And so if we're worried about something like a virus like HIV, you just like COVID, you can't get it from standing 6 feet away from people, right? But you do have to do some very particular things, namely exchanging of bodily fluids in order to transmit HIV, particular kinds of bodily fluids in very particular ways, right? Now, the only difference between COVID and HIV in this circumstance is that HIV, it's really intimate contact versus, even casual contact from coronavirus can spread it. And, so if you go lick the chair that Michael's been sitting in, right, and if he sneezed on it, that's a ridiculous thing, but it will help people to remember, if you and Michael are staying 6 feet away and I see that you're socially distanced, if he isn't sneezing in your face, if you're wearing masks, if you're washing your hands, if you're washing surfaces scrupulously, it's almost like you're effectively like you're wearing a condom, right? I mean, so you're protected to some degree, maybe not perfally, but
maybe
most
the
of the way
99% that a condom
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
We're known for being scrupulous.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm getting weird messages from Zoom about my microphones and stuff. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, while on the one hand, we do sort of want everyone to stay the hell home and not see outside people. I mean, remember, if you and everyone else reduce contact with persons outside of your household by 90%, many more lives would be saved. Right? Mm-hmm. And so short of not leaving the house, you have to take these other layer of precautions, like, so instead of not having sex, you wear the condom, which is, in this case, the face mask, it's the washing the hands, it's the social distancing, the 6 feet away from people, let the older people go to the grocery store and have their own hour to themselves, versus, everyone kind of thronging it together, or like the beach in Florida where people are like laying out like seals and sneezing on each other. Like, you don't want that.
I'm just thinking about sex metaphors that the old people
I talk about sex a lot because if I frame everything as being about sex, then people might actually remember what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's fair. That's smart.
Yeah, cool. Does that answer? Do you think that's a good? I could probably rant on about that, but maybe
no, I think that's great. That's
an excellent
really
answer.
helpful. Actually, that metaphor alone really does help. Except for that, I'm like, well, I'm not having sex with my roommates. And then I think, oh, wait, no, that's not I'm mixing metaphors here. I should be.
I mean, we're only like 50 days into this. I mean, we'll see.
you do live with Charlie.
Japanese show where it's like 6 younger people. It's like supposed to be a dating show where they all live in a house together. I'm sorry, blanking on the name of it, but it's a great Netflixable, like, kind of like, you could watch this thing forever and ever because it's like months and months and months before anybody even kisses. They just sit around and have small talk, and it's like 6 of them in the house. And it's like, come on, people, get with it, knock boots, whatever.
It's like real world, but a lot slower. All right. The World Health Organization warned against immunity passports because of reinfection concerns. What would alleviate reinfection concerns, other than watching to see if people get reinfected? Can reinfection be like the risk of it be tested in a lab, or is a vaccine required first? What's the deal with that?
Yeah, okay, interesting question. Very good question. Several questions in that question. The big picture here is immunity. We don't know if people will become immune to coronavirus. Because remember, this is the same kind of virus that causes the common cold. And people get it over and over and over and over again, right? So therefore, it stands to reason that you can get infected with the newer novel coronavirus that's new this year, the nCoV, SARS-CoV-19. But I can't. It doesn't roll off the tongue, right? But anyway, the new virus. It stands to reason you could be reinfected over and over and over again. However, we're not really sure. And we don't have enough tests out there still to verify that. And hopefully we will in the coming months. But I mean, in my clinical practice, I've seen people who have the symptoms, who have been tested positive the first time. They stayed home, they went back to work, and then they get symptoms again. But the bizarre thing is, in the particular states that I was seeing these patients, not Maryland, they went to go get tested a second time, and when they showed up, they're like, yeah, sorry, you already tested you once. We can't test you again. Which is like, what is happening? But anyway, whatever. So I don't know. Bottom line is, we don't know if getting the disease will give you immunity. And I'm seeing patients every day who are asking for the immunity test, and that's available through telemedicine docs like me or your local healthcare doctor. You can get these tests done. There's 10 or more on the market. Last I checked, only 2 of them we actually know if they work or not. The rest, may or may not work. So you have to take them with a huge grain of salt at this point. Even if they did work, as in they're accurate, we don't know how to interpret the results. So there's a lot of assumptions that we're making in order to be able to say, like, people might be immune or whatever. And so there's no get out of jail free card, basically. Another way to think about this is, it's the same kind of test we use for Lyme disease. If you've ever heard of Lyme disease or heard of Lyme disease, a lot of people around Maryland, you get bit by a tick. Maybe you got bit by the tick. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you get the rash. Maybe you don't. And Lyme disease can be really hard to diagnose, in part because the testing that we use the only testing we really have available is these kind of serological tests like we're using for COVID after the fact. And those are really, really kind of confusing. So on the medical level, this stuff is hard. And then on the societal level, it's really concerning because we've all read this comic book before about the 2-tiered society where, like, there's some people that can go out in public and just go about their business, and there's this other sort of like group of people who are maybe ethnic minorities or mutants or something who have to live this kind of a subterranean existence or whatever. Anyway, that's what we're looking at when you start to segment society into the people with immunity and the people who don't. And it creates this interesting kind of incentives for like a black market on these test results and people gaming the system and stuff. And if we were forward thinking and good students of the legacy of Stan Lee and other really great thinkers, we would know better. Of course, we're human and we're not, right? So people are trying this out in other countries, and I just really hope it doesn't happen here.
Interesting. Did you want to ask a question, Michael?
Oh, shit. Yes, I do. No. You go next.
I had a question about that, but wait. So, sorry, this is just riffing on what you just said. So people can personally buy test kits for themselves?
So there is now, I know of at least one home test kit.
I actually know someone who has bought two different kinds. So
okay. Cool.
So I already know the answer to that. I was just curious what you think about it, I guess.
I actually spent, at the very beginning of this, I spent some time trying to convince Amazon to just mail test kits to everybody who's a Prime member. Just do it.
Whoa.
Right? And there's various reasons why that failed. One of which is, Jeff Bezos won't answer my phone calls, right? But it's the most important reason why this failed. Oh, there's my wife, the epidemiologist.
Hey!
You work at the CDC, don't you?
Guilty.
Yeah, so both of you are coming on now? Is that
No, she's just, this is that moment where the
Totally
kid interrupts
joking.
you during the newscast, like in BBC News.
She's the kid busting in the door.
Yeah, cool.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. We'll talk soon.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Where were we? Test kits. Yeah. So there's a few of these on the market, and I believe that you should make it really easy for people to get tested. The big hang up before it was like we didn't have enough of the tests coming from CDC. We weren't using WHO when we made our own. It didn't work the way we wanted to. They fixed it. And then after all that rigmarole, the swabs, the Q-tips that you use, they're not Q-tips, but I mean they're fancy and they're made in northern Italy.
Oh
And the
God.
epicenter of the whole outbreak is where that factory was. Just it's cool irony of history, right? That happened to be the case. So that slowed down production for a while. It's just been one thing after another. But in general, yeah, I believe in the concept that we ought to have more testing on demand. We think that we need something between people. The number keeps going up. We thought it was 1 million, maybe it's 3 million, maybe it's 5 million tests a day, right? That need to be processed to really kind of get ahead of this thing. And you know, there's a lot of people at the FDA and the CDC and a number of other places that all have to kind of work together to make sure that the tests work the way that we think that we do, and to get people the information they need to make the decisions. But I mean, in the meantime, if you can stay home, stay home.
Fair. Yeah.
All right, now I got a question.
Okay.
All right, so this one I enjoyed because it also has like a gross graphic element to it, which is, what do I expect if I have to be intubated for COVID-19?
Yeah, I think that's a fascinating question, and so I actually, you know, I went and read up. There's this great Washington Post article by somebody who was intubated, who kind of talks, David Latt, L-A-T, about a month ago. He writes really eloquently about his experience. So in general, you need to be intubated when you're not breathing well. And a funny thing happens with COVID, you know, you can go for days and days and days. Your oxygen levels get kind of slowly lower and lower, and then you just crash, you know, and suddenly, oh, I can't breathe and it's an emergency. In which case they'll come, they'll listen to you, they'll look at your oxygen level, they'll try to give you oxygen, you know, externally, like with a mask or the thing that goes in your nose. If that can't get your oxygen level in your blood up enough, eventually, if your oxygen level in your blood gets so low, I mean, your blood carries oxygen to all the different organs in the body, and those organs like your brain and your heart and your lungs and your liver and your kidneys or whatever, they need oxygen like to do their thing. So they're going to get really angry and sick quickly if you don't get oxygen. Most importantly, the brain. So you know, you can't have that for very long. And so if that number gets really, really low and you start to get really sick, they're going to do what they call a rapid sequence intubation, probably, where they're going to give you medicine that knocks you out very quickly, and then they're going to put your head back, open your mouth, they're going to look for your vocal cords, and they're going to take a little tube and sort of slip it right between your vocal cords and get it down to where your lungs split off in two.
What the fuck?
Right down here. Yeah. And then when they're sure that it's sort of in the right place, they're going to hook you up to a machine that inflates your lungs, and they're going to keep you on medicines that kind of paralyze you, make you unconscious, and you're going to be that way for a number of days until they can, you know, slowly get you off the ventilator, help your lungs to start doing their job on their own again, and then, you know, sort of set you back to your ordinary life. And there's complications, right? So you can get pneumonia or other problems while this is happening. So anyway, we can't just keep you on this forever. That, you know, people can live on the vents for years, but it's very, very risky proposition to be on it, even for a matter of days. But if we don't do it, you're going to die. So, you know, it seems like the better choice for a lot of people.
That's it. What you just said, the thing about the vocal cords, if the government just put that out there, everybody would stay home. Nobody, that's the most horrible, that's like fingernails being ripped off and then shoved in your face. I hate it.
It hurts a lot. It really hurts a lot. And so your voice is never the same after. You can get nerve damage or damage to your vocal cords afterwards. And just laying on your back for somebody in your 40s, you know, or 50s or even older, you know, for someone in your 20s, you can be on your back for a week, just laying there, and you can get up and you can mostly be okay, right? But by the time, you know, getting older sucks, right? So I'm in my 30s now. People in your 40s or 50s, you experience this even more. It's like none of us is 17 anymore. So, you know, somebody who's in their 50s or older, you know, it'll take a week to recover maybe for every day that they were on their back versus, you know, you can bounce back pretty quickly if you're in your 20s day for day. So that means that if I was in my 40s or 50s, laid up on a ventilator for 7 days. It might be 2 months or more before I'm really getting back to my normal activities. I could have been a marathon runner like this guy in the Washington Post, and now I can't even climb a flight of stairs. Now I can't even stand up in the shower anymore. There's PTSD and other kind of consequences from this. And just because we gave you medicine to make you paralyzed and unconscious doesn't mean that you don't, to some extent, know what's going on. Some people say that they still felt pain. They knew who their doctors were. They could hear what people were saying. So we learned this as doctors, like not to basically talk shit about people just because they're on a ventilator, because they might be able to hear you and be very angry when they wake up, right? So it's very surreal. Certainly something that you would want to avoid, I think.
Stay home, folks.
Yeah, that's wild.
Stay home, yes.
We are running out of time. I'm trying to decide which questions are the most important. Can we do rapid fire?
Go.
Okay. If we're getting impatient and our lives have been relatively unimpacted, what can we tell ourselves to stay vigilant other than the horrifying thing that you just told us already?
If you reduce contact with people outside your household by 90%, many more lives will be saved.
Awesome. If you recovered from the infection a few months ago and presumably have antibodies, how worried should you be?
We don't know.
Cool, so stay inside, yeah?
Pretty worried.
It's so pretty worried, yeah. Does swing dancing help someone's immune system or hurt it?
Help, obviously.
Is that because they're like exchanging germs and building up antibodies, or is that just because you're doing cardiovascular activities and going outside?
It's because you're the Mobtown Ballroom, and I want to say nice things about your business model, which is to,
kind of toast.
Nice.
No. I mean, exercise is good for you. I don't care what you do. You could do swing dancing, handstand push-ups, get on a rowing machine, whatever. You need some of that. There's probably a level above which it's counterproductive, and I don't know what that level is. Somewhere between, does 15 minutes of vigorous exercise a day versus triathlete. It's somewhere on that spectrum. I don't know where, and it might differ from individual people. But, hey, guess what? Exercise, get some, right? And if you like to swing dance, and if you're not violating social distancing rules by doing it, awesome.
Sweet.
Just don't break anything, right? Because that's the last thing you need to do is like practicing some awesome aerial thing and then break something and have to go to the ER. We don't need you in the ER right now.
Yeah, that's smart. Is there anything in particular that people should be watching, whether it's like projection models or like, I don't know, health news or any sources that you would recommend that people follow for advice?
My particular go-to news sources, I like to read the Washington Post. I like to read the New York Times. Check out the Baltimore Sun. I also look at the National Review, right? As something on the right, just as a counterpoint, so I'm not like in an echo chamber. Mm-hmm. But I think any reputable news sources that you like, that give you that mixture of like what's the local versus kind of the big picture. I've actually been very impressed with the kind of the media coverage I'm seeing in those sources. I don't watch TV news. I don't recommend that people watch TV news because it just hits a different part of your brain than reading your news. And so when you're watching your news, it activates that part of your brain that's like your amygdala and the fear center, and you can easily take stories you see on the TV news, and they're going to have an outsized influence on you compared to if you read your news. So people who are like pro stock traders and stuff never watch the financial like TV news, right? Take a lesson from them. They always read their news so they can be careful about what they read, and they're processing it with like a different part of their brain.
Interesting.
Mobtown, did you hear that? This doctor just formally prescribed reading.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's another doctor who was the Surgeon General until she prescribed masturbation, and then she was fired. Oops. So
I'm a fan of both those activities.
All of them are good, yeah.
So, not at the same time. Paper cuts.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my God. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Nichols. I cannot express how appreciative I am of you. I can't believe that I randomly was like connected with you, and you've been doing this for us. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. It's a real privilege to be back with you, Sarah and Michael. I hope you'll invite me back soon sometime. I hope I have something more informative to tell you next time other than stay the hell home. But really, that's what it boils down to is stay home, be safe, give some love to yourself and to others, okay?
Thanks, Dr. Nichols.
What an informative man. And do you see what I'm saying? Young Billy Crystal?
Fucking
Like hot
awesome.
young Billy Crystal?
I don't
You know.
know that I've ever remembered Billy Crystal in that way. And I don't mean that in a mean way towards Billy Crystal. I just mean like I don't remember what Billy Crystal was like.
He was an incredibly erotic man. I mean, I think he still got it, but at the time, in that era,
I
of Billy
really enjoyed
Crystal,
him in Monsters, Inc.
Next week, remind me, let's put up a picture of Billy Crystal from the day, and you're all going to go, ooh.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's next, Sarah?
So thank you, Dr. Nichols. You're awesome. You should look at the YouTube comments because people were doing the paging Dr. Hottie thing. And yeah, I guess next, I just want to remind you all about hashtag meme Bill Henry. Just Google Bill Henry or use that picture because it's awesome. And send me a nice meme at Sarah, S-A-R-A-H, at mobtownballroom.com. Remember that the memes are supposed to be promoting how awesome Bill Henry is and maybe making the job of comptroller sexy. So do that. We have Sam Grossman on next week giving a puppet show. We are likely to have a musical guest who we are not announcing yet. And maybe our brand new jingle written by Abby Becker. So we might have some intro music. We shall see. It's awesome.
It's so good.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to add before I introduce our next act, Michael?
No, I feel like our professionalism has reached a peak, and we should just let it keep going.
Okay, perfect. Well, so next up, we have one last act for you all, and it is a video, and it has been done by OpenWorks Baltimore. And OpenWorks is a maker's space, so it's basically like it's like a communal workspace, except for it's unique in that they're trying to connect people, like makers, people who make stuff, with equipment, space, and the education. So they have all sorts of different things for people along that spectrum, but oftentimes people who create things, so maybe you want to manufacture things small scale, they try and pair you or with the equipment or offer that equipment in their space. So it's a communal workspace, but a little bit differently than you just bringing your computer to sit down and type away. And on March 21st, they put out a call for 3D printers in Maryland, and they've been having people help with their 3D printers by printing pieces of face shields or donating things. And so they've been creating these face shields at OpenWorks Baltimore. And within 5 days of putting out this call, they had their first group of face shields manufactured and ready to be put out there. And they're for healthcare workers. Right now they have more than 350 volunteers who are powering the project by printing things at home. And Makers Unite is what has come out of it. They've made almost 15,000 face shields for healthcare workers, and it's very cool. So we're about to show you a video. If you want to participate, like if you have a 3D printer or you think you have something to offer, you should go to their website and offer their help. Or you can wait until all this shit is done, and then you can sign up and become a member of OpenWorks because they do all sorts of really cool stuff. And if you want access to things and education and make stuff with them, you can do that. OpenWorksBemore.com, I believe, is their website, but it'll be up. So here we go. They're going to explain to us how their face shields are made.
Hey makers, it's Laura from OpenWorks. Today we're going to show you the different steps that we use to make the face shields, from 3D printing to laser cutting, assembly, and boxing out. Enjoy!
Hello, my name is Zach. I'm a 3D printing technician for OpenWorks and Makers Unite. We are 3D printing headband parts, which has two different parts. And as you can see, if we go back to the 3D printer right here, you can see that we are printing a headband, which is the top part, and the bottom reinforcement. It prints like a thin bead of plastic, similar to a hot glue gun, layer by layer. So it puts down one layer, and then it goes up 1 unit of measure, and then does another layer of plastic, and that's how we build up. So if we go back over here, back to the 3D printer, you can see that we have multiple bottom parts, and actually above this headband, we're going to start stacking them. So stacking the headbands on top of each other in different ways. So anyways, we like to communicate a file from the computer with an SD card, and we just put that at the bottom of the machine, and then it processes the file, and then you walk away for 24 hours, come back, and then you get some really beautiful headbands. And as you can see, this is just that one part. And we also have the reinforcement part right here. We need both in order to complete the mask, or the face shield. And we're basically asking everybody to, help us out. So if you get some good results, send them our way.
Hi, I'm Ben. What we're doing here in the digital fabrication shop regarding the face shields is we're cutting the visors that go in the front. This is made out of PETG plastic. That is a more chemically stable plastic than other types of plastic, as one of the sort of medically inclined aspects of the whole design. So we're putting in full sheets that are about 3 feet by 4 feet, the maximum size of each of the beds of our larger laser cutters here. We can get a total of 15 individual visors off of one sheet, and we're hopefully going to get around 500 per day. And that's it. So laser cutting is a form of computer numerically controlled technology. It is as though this machine was playing connect the dots with a drawing. There is a drawing up on the computer that is now loaded into the machine itself. It has a collection of coordinate information, and what the laser is essentially doing is it is going and following each of those coordinates while shooting a laser beam at a specific power and speed, and that power and speed is going to be cutting through at certain portions of this plastic as it moves around, and at the end of it we're going to get 15 visors off of it. Off. I took off one layer of the plastic. There's another layer of plastic on the back to prevent scratching from happening. Each of these holes on the top snaps around tabs on the front of the face shield, like this. And these bottom pieces have a similarly matching bottom piece that is also 3D printed to hold the shield like this in front of your face. And this is the laser cut part of the 3D printed laser cut face shield that we're making for medical professionals.
My name is Tirsa. I'm the office manager here at OpenWorks. So right now I'm actually constructing the face shield. So Ben laser cut the shields, and we have folks bringing in donations of the R2, RC2 3D printed prints. So basically I'm just going to snap the top piece together, and then I'm going to attach the bottom piece. Make sure everything is nice and snug and fits. and then attach the elastic headband for the final product. Thanks.
So after we get the masks done, here we gotta blow all the dust and debris off of them to make sure they're clean. After that, we put them in a bag to protect the face shield. And then they get stuffed in a box such as this. Usually 15 at a time. Sometimes we're doing bigger orders to accommodate much larger orders. Once they're in a box, they get stacked over there and they get wait to be picked up.
Great, thank you so much for joining us. I hope this gave you a little insight into our process. We're hoping to make on a minimum about 500 a day. Today we're going for 750, but we're trying to produce as much as possible so we can get these shields out to folks. Thank you so much. Makers Unite, everybody.
Yay! Oh wait, we're still going. Yay, OpenWorks!
Those are the fine folks at OpenWorks. Doing that allowed them to rehire their whole staff, and you can donate to them. Go to their website, the OpenWorks. I've got a thing up there. We will, or maybe. Anyway, give them money. You know, that's really the answer to a lot of problems right now is give some folks some money.
Yeah, they do a lot of really cool stuff from what I've heard. Like, it's not just when you think about like urban workspace sharing or whatever, they also connect a lot of local workers with the resources that they need in order to produce things. So like say you're a small manufacturer, but you don't necessarily want to buy every piece of equipment. It's kind of like community sharing. It's very cool. I have one quick announcement before we close that I was sent, which is Save the Sun. A nonprofit is trying to buy the Sun from the Tribune, and
good.
Yeah. So consider that.
Also,
go
subscribe
Team
to the Sun.
Lesbian is what our friend sent us. So I'm not quite sure what that means, but I would assume it means that the nonprofit has something to do with Team Lesbian.
Was that Munchel?
It was Munchel. She sent it to both of us.
Yeah, Team Lesbian. That's the team that Munchel and I are on.
Okay, me too.
Yeah, you're honorary.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, final things.
Many
Thank you
thanks
all.
to Meschiya Lake.
Thank you, Meschiya.
Wonderful.
Many thanks to Dr. Joey Nichols, who's awesome.
Dr. Hottie.
Dr. Hottie, paging Dr. Hottie.
With his degrees.
His many degrees, his very expensive degrees. Thanks to OpenWorks. I really appreciate it. Thank you to Abby Becker, who's back behind what you all can see, and Hachi Matt Reed, who's back behind what you all can see.
Allison Fisher.
Allison Fisher.
For the incredible graphic.
Brent Tomczyk, Charlie Wieprecht, all these various people. Nicole Munchel, she lent us a bunch of the lights that you can't see, but you wouldn't be able to see us without them. So thank you, everybody. We
have some great programming next week. Extraordinary stuff.
Yeah, Councilman Bill Henry, please make sure to hashtag meme Bill Henry and send them to me, Sarah at mobtownballroom.com. Next week, we'll have Sam Grossman on our new jingle. It's going to be pretty awesome. So, without further ado, should we do our outro?
Give him the send-off.
All right. This is Meschiya with one of her baby songs.
Good night.
Make room for jokes. Yeah. There we go. One, bam. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.